Welcome back. A few weeks ago, I described how Berserk Archfiend changed everything for the Archfiend archetype, and how you can use Pandemonium to search your way through into multiple disruptions. But what if I told you that Weiss Lightsworn Archfiend makes the deck even stronger? Recently, Konami revealed the very first Archfiend tuner. It's called Weiss Lightsworn Archfiend. It's a light fiend tuner. It's level 4, 0 attack, 1700 defense. And basically what it lets you do is you can target another Lightsworn card in your hand, put it on top of your deck, then special summon itself, and then mill the top 2 cards from your deck into the graveyard. And then also, if it happens to be sent from the deck into the graveyard, then you can target a Lightsworn monster in your graveyard and then special summon it. And because it just so happens to be a light tuner, Archfiends can finally make Chaos Archfiend one of our main win conditions naturally. So a pretty quick way to accomplish this is to have Tour Guide in hand with Archfiend Labyrinth and then +1 extra card. It doesn't really matter what it is. So we'll normal summon Tour Guide from the Underworld, activate the effect, summon Fiendish Rhino Warrior. We'll link both of these off into Muckraker from the Underworld. Fiendish Rhino Warrior's effect will activate. So here all we're going to do is mill the Lightsworn Archfiend straight into the graveyard, activate Muckraker to revive that monster. So we'll just discard Heiress. That was our +1. It can be just about anything, but we may as well use the effect to search something else out, which is bring Glitch to the hand. Here we'll use Archfiend Labyrinth and then target our tuner and then banish Muckraker to special summon any level 4 from the deck. Here we are just using Bone Archfiend, and then we just synchro both of these off into Chaos Archfiend. But that's not all. By incorporating a small Lightsworn engine, we can ascend to even greater heights. Check this out. We'll use Charge of the Light Brigade to search for a Lightsworn monster. So that's going to be Weiss Lightsworn Archfiend. Because we have a Lightsworn in the graveyard, we'll just summon Dragon of Lightsworn, dumping Felice. Felice revives herself. Synchro them both off into the new Minerva. This lets us mill cards into the graveyard. We also search Punishment Dragon. Here we're going to revive Wolf. We're going to dump off of Minerva. Diabolica is going to summon itself, and then we're going to banish a bunch of cards to send cards from the top of our deck. Synchro into Crimson Dragon. Synchro Rumble is going to activate, reviving a tuner from the graveyard. Synchro them both off into Legacia. Draw a card, set a card, end, and then on their turn, during the draw phase, we'll just put that back and then summon Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend King Calamity. Now, of course, Archfiend King Calamity is a tad toxic, but I think out of all the decks that's allowed to run it, Archfiends is probably it, you know, being an Archfiend card and everything. It's like how Dragoon gets a free pass in a Dark Magician deck. Now, I know you're itching to see the deck in action, and although I really want to show you how this deck can play through, I'll show you after these games. So the first game is Archfiends versus Photon, or Photon Dragon, Galaxy Eyes, whatever you want to call it. So straight away, we're going to use Lightsworn Archfiend to summon itself, and then we're going to put Wolf onto our side of the field, synchro into Minerva, dump Weiss and Felice into the graveyard. Felice is going to revive herself. Weiss is going to summon Dragon. Dragon is going to send Wolf. Wolf is then going to revive himself as well. We go into Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon search Synchro Rumble. Special summon Dragon of Lightsworn. Not really sure why I did that, but it's okay. Dump a bunch of monsters into the graveyard. Heiress gets a search. Diabolica lets us bring Tour Guide back into our hand. So we searched Labyrinth, normal summon Tour Guide, go into Muckraker, send Dark Spirit of Banishment into the graveyard. Weiss is then going to be summoned through Muckraker, and then Legacia is going to be synchro summoned. Archfiend Labyrinth is going to target Weiss into Bone Archfiend, then we summon Chaos Archfiend as a result. So our end board here is Crimson Dragon into Archfiend King Calamity to lock their turn, and then we also have our Chaos Archfiend to OTK the following turn, or at least that's the plan. So they couldn't really do much. So here, Bone Archfiend summon itself. We'll use Labyrinth, target Chaos Archfiend, bring out Archfiend Empress. Berserk Archfiend is going to pop Archfiend Empress. Now we get our Dark Spirit back. We also get a beefed up Berserk Archfiend, and then we revived Diabolica, which was a bit of a bad plan. We should have revived Archfiend Commander or something, but it's okay. So yeah, so they summoned Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon by tributing Chaos Archfiend, and then they had Kuri Photon in hand. They paid 2,000 life points and no further damage is taken that turn. It's very frustrating, but now they basically have full combos. They're going to go into Photon Emperor. They have Photon Sanctuary, get some tokens, link both of those off into Soul Flare Dragon. Then they're going to basically return all of their cards in their graveyard into the hand. It's a bit like Witchcrafter. Expedition, bring out Afterglow Dragon, link into Tachyon Dragon. Here, I panicked because that thing gains so much attack, and I used Dark Spirit of Banishment. Its attack increased. The redirect happened, the attack increased again, and because it can attack again, it got to 8,000 attack. I was almost destroyed myself, but it's fine. So they will use Galaxy Trance, bringing out Galaxy Summoner and a Photon Jumper that goes into Photon Dragon, and they just add a card into their hand that will destroy Chaos Archfiend. Bad plan, because now I move into Chaos Angel. That will banish their Tachyon Dragon, which was, you know, thankful. So now we have Archfiend's Roar, That's going to bring out Commander. We'll use their shotgunning Photon because they don't want to lose. So we'll just go into our battle phase and just take care of a couple of cards. Main phase 2, Palabyrinth onto Commander. Get rid of the Chaos Angel into Berserk Archfiend. Well, exceeds those into Caesar. Then link the remaining ones into Little Knight, and we have a glitch face down. So we've got 3 disruptions here. We're going to negate their summon. They're going to destroy our card, and then we're going to use glitch to destroy Photon Dragon. Here we get to recycle our Dark Spirit, and Diabolica brings Berserk Archfiend into the hand for a follow-up. They activate Galaxy 100, and then they can't really do anything else. They just end their turn. The plan is to summon Heiress and then pop it, but then they knew it was over from that point forwards, then they just ended. So earlier I had already showed you a Blue Eyes game, so this was another game against the same person. So Dragon Shrine is going to send a couple of Blue Eyes cards into the graveyard. They're going to use Melody and then Return of the Dragon Lords, revive Blue Eyes, and then they're going to set Ultimate Fusion. So they've got Jet in hand, they've got Deep Blue Eyes, which I think searches for, so Chaos form. So this is a Chaos Max Dragon deck from the looks of it. So our turn, pretty decent hand. We top decked Charge of the Light Brigade, amazing card. Use Weiss, summon itself, send Wolf. Probably one of the best combos you can have. They're going to shotgun into Ultimate Fusion, popping our Weiss, and now they have the new Dragon Magia Master, and this is an Omni negate effectively up to 3 times. So it destroys Dragon, we get to search Punishment Dragon, normal summon Archfiend Heiress, pop it with Berserk Archfiend, bring him up to 7,000 attack, which is pretty decent, just ram right over that. And then I didn't realize Return of the Dragon Lords was there to protect it, it's fine. So into a light and dark Chaos Angel to banish the Jet Dragon. Summon Bone Archfiend. Bring Fiendish Golem for a bit of disruption. So now we have Simmel, which is a D-barrier. We have Archfiend Glitch. We have Fiendish Golem and something else, which you're going to see in a second. So Glitch to destroy this. They're going to negate it. Now we'll activate Transaction Rollback. Pay half our life points. Target Glitch in the graveyard. Reactivate it. So let me pop it. A very good card. I can't wait for that card to come out. Then they go into Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, but we have Fiendish Golem to banish it anyway. Right, so Chaos Archfiend. Let's just try an OTK. So we'll summon Dragon. Get rid of Felice. Yep, Felice will summon itself. We'll go into Minerva. Nice thing about Minerva is it can banish to set Chaos Archfiend's attack boost up. I don't think I did it in this game, but that's just, me misplaying. So we're just going to attack with everything here, and then they surrendered. Right, so now we have a Dark Magician game. So they're going to go first. Magician Souls, going to mill Dark Magician, summon it. Illusion of Chaos is now going to search for a Magician's Rod. Normal summon Magician's Rod, that's going to bring Magician's Salvation into the hand. Salvation is going to set Eternal Soul, pretty decent card. And then they're going to go straight into a Chaos Angel. So this was a dark only one, so it's not the most powerful thing in the world. And then Eternal Soul is just going to basically recycle the Rod. Okay, so we open Charge of the Light Brigade, and we also open Weiss with a Dragon, which is pretty decent. So we're going to search for Judgment Dragon. Catalyzer is going to summon itself by discarding the Rhino Warrior. Heiress gets a search. We're going to bring Bone Archfiend into the hand. Minerva is going to dump Weiss to revive Dragon. Dragon then gets its effect. Send Felice. Felice is going to revive itself. Then we go into Legacia, get rid of the Chaos Angel, and I can't believe we drew another Charge of the Light Brigade. Amazing. We drew Lightsworn Aegis, which sets itself. Special summon into Muckraker. Muckraker's going to revive Weiss, and then we haven't even normal summoned yet, so we just go into Bone, which synchros into Chaos Archfiend, and then we swing for some damage. I could have OTK'd if I just revived Bone Archfiend, but I wasn't very smart, so I ended my turn. They have Eternal Soul into Dark Magician. They have Magician Souls to bring Magician Girl onto their side of the field. Salvation into Dark Burning Magic to blow up everything. We just saved one of our cards. We have Chaos Archfiend floating into Chaos Angel, and then we also got both of the Dark Spirits back into our hands. We get rid of Eternal Soul, popping everything, and then we may as well chain into Chaos Archfiend here. So everything goes, and then they did something really wild here. So Soul Servant, putting Dark Magician onto the top of their deck, draw it, and then they have Timaeus the Dragon of Destiny into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I thought was, very impressive. So they attack, pop over Chaos Archfiend. I activate Salamander, they negated it, and then a cool victory using Dark Spirit of Banishment into Chaos Archfiend. I would have won anyway, because next turn I just would have summoned Judgment Dragon and then just rammed into Artemis. Alright, so round 2. I'm going first to Charge of the Light Brigade into Weiss. Normal summon Cavalry, it really wasn't a good hand, but we have Simmel for a D-barrier lock, and we have a Glitch for a pop, and we're going to shotgun that on Dark Magic Circle because we don't want them to get a search. And I also have PTSD from it banishing all my cards. So Diabolica, summon itself, and then we're going to search for a second Weiss just so it's live next turn. They're going to use Magician Salvation into Eternal Soul. Magician Souls, milling the Dark Magician, probably going to summon it, into Chaos Angel, standard play, and then I just chained this with Raw just because I wasn't sure how much firepower they had, so I was just bringing my defense up as much as I could, and then it gets destroyed. I don't get a search, but it's fine. Eternal Soul is going to bring Dark Magician, and then they're going to bring Magician's Rod into their hand. Not quite confident with that move, to be honest. Anyway, special summon Weiss into Minerva, bring Felice, normal summon Bone, and then we're going to just see what we can get. Crimson Dragon is going to get summoned, and then I misplayed there because I thought Synchro Rumble was in my deck, and it wasn't. But it's cool because we have Dragon Clearwing, and that's going to pop the field anyway. And now we can OTK. So Chaos Archfiend with 4,000, Bone Archfiend, and then Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. Now here's Archfiends versus Fire Kings. I was quite frustrated with this game, and I'll show you why. Well, you'll see why. Anyway, summon Tour Guide. It gets ashed. I summon Bone Archfiend off of Salamander. We send Weiss into the graveyard, Synchro Rumble, special summon it onto our side of the field. They are going to chain that with Kieran, and we're going to go into Minerva. Minerva send Felice, Felice Synchro into Chaos Archfiend. And then we have Simul for a D-barrier lock in case we need it. We get Judgment Dragon into our hand as well, and that's going to end our turn. So we have 2 disruptions. It's, you know, best of the bad situations. They have Legendary Fire King Ponix. I think that recycled itself. They summoned it. King Sanctuary is going to bring Fire King Island onto their side of the field. They're going to search. They've got Skyburn in their hand, and admittedly I didn't read that. Fire King Garunix, and then they're going to summon and pop Simul. And then they're going to Xyz into Hyung and destroy everything on the field. We go into Chaos Angel and try to banish their card, but their Fire Burn, you know, pops both of them instead, allowing them to summon a bunch of monsters onto their side of the field. We're on 1100. It's our turn. We top deck Roar, which is horrendous. They recycle a card. Bone Archfiend revive itself, and then we get a second Ash Blossom. Of course we do. And then we just set Roar and end our turn. They have Dragon Ruler. We chain Roar into Chaos Archfiend. And this is the frustrating part. They go into Hyung again and pop everything, and then they swing for game. But if I just happen to have a second Chaos Angel, which I do now, lessons learned, they would have popped everything. I would have floated into Chaos Angel, and then I would have banished the Hyung, and then I'm not sure if I would have won necessarily, but I definitely would still be alive that turn, and I probably would have shut down most of their engine. Right, so moving on, Archfiends versus Blackluster Soldier. So we go first, charge the Light Brigade into Weiss. Wolf is going to summon itself. Dragon is going to search for Judgment Dragon. We put Wolf onto our side of the field. Weiss summon itself. Felice and Wolf summon themselves onto our side of the field because we milled them from the deck to the graveyard. Go into Minerva. Minerva is going to send Weiss and Dragon. Felice is going to resummon itself. Crimson Dragon's on our side of the field. We're going to use Archfiend Heiress to search for Simul. Go into Legacia. Basically, we're just going to try and lock them with Archfiend King Calamity. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We also have Glitch face down, Lightsworn Aegis, and a Simul. So we've got a Omni Negate. We have a King Calamity lock. And we also have a D-barrier lock, which is what we're going to do now to stop them from linking off into, I don't know, Cerberus or something. And then we also have Glitch in case we need to use it. Right, so summon Vision Resonator, pop the Mirage. They actually let it go through. They definitely should have chained that, but it's fine. We summon Diabolica. This will go into Chaos Angel and banish their Valkyria, and that should be game. Round 2, they go first. They use reinforcement of the army into Neospace Connector. Connector is going to bring out Aquadolphin. Aquadolphin is going to, pay 500 life points apparently. Go into Isolde, which is banned now, but yeah, it's fine. Getting rid of Phoenix Blade, that's going to summon Super Soldier Soul, amazing artwork, into Nightmare Phoenix, and they're going to end their turn. That's not the best build in the world, but it's okay. So we go Tour Guide into Fiendish Rhino Warrior into Muckraker. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is going to send Heiress. Heiress is going to search for Weiss. Weiss is going to summon itself by getting rid of Dragon. Dragon is going to search for Judgment Dragon. Catalyzer into Bone Archfiend, and that will go straight into Chaos Archfiend. And now we can just keep sort of playing, right? So charge into Dragon, special summoning itself. That will get rid of Felice. Felice will then synchro into Minerva. Minerva can then send stuff. So that's Weiss and Wolf. So we're going to revive Felice, and we're going to revive Wolf. And that's going to go into Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, mill a bunch of stuff. Again, it's just summoning for days. If you can gamble a lot, you can really do a lot. This end board is very weird, but it was enough to swing for game, so we just kept attacking, and it's game over. This was like a sort of Dark Magician, Fallen of Albaz style deck. So we have Tour Guide into Muckraker, sending Rhino Warrior into Weiss. We'll revive the Weiss, getting rid of Heiress. Heiress will search for Palabyrinth, activate Palabyrinth, target the Weiss, banish the Muckraker. That will go into Chaos Archfiend. Now we have Fiendish Golem as well, so that's kind of 2 disruptions there. They will use Magician Souls, bring out the Dark Magician, Fusion Deployment, summoning red Cartesia, or blazing Cartesia. Now they will use Fallen of Albaz to bring out Mirror Jade, and now they are forced, because I use Fiendish Golem on Dark Magician, to fuse their own Mirror Jade off, so they've got no payoff of that. Chaos Angel, destroy Granguinor. They had Duality, can't be mad about that, into Master of Chaos. Very cool card. They're just extending a little bit. They'll use Forbidden Droplet just to reduce the attack enough to be over it. Now, it looks like we don't have much on our side of the field, so we'll draw into Glitch, that's pretty good. Summon Catalyzer into Typhon, amazing card. And my Palabyrinth turns off its own effect, so I had no choice but to be over Master of Chaos. It is what it is. I'll summon Dark Magician, and then we'll use Glitch on Blazing Cartesia to force them to summon something else. They'll use Dark Magicians, which is still not bad. We had Archfiend Heiress to search for Weiss, but then they surrendered at that particular point. Okay, so round 2, they'll go first. Magician's Souls into Dark Magician. Summon Magician's Rod. Rod is going to search for the Soul Servant. Soul Servant is going to place Timaeus onto their top deck, and then they're going to summon it. And then I assume they're going to summon Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. Yep. And then they have Forbidden Droplet, which is face down. Our turn. This was dirty. So Charge of the Light Brigade gets negated. And then I had a second one. So we'll bring the card we need to our hand anyway. And then they just surrendered from there. All right, so now I'm going to show you how you can play through Nibiru. Then I'll do a test hand. So a standard line is Weiss into Wolf. Weiss is going to summon itself, mill Wolf into the graveyard, summon itself as well. Synchro into Minerva. Minerva's effect is going to mill 2 Lightsworns from the deck to the graveyard. Normally you mill something like Weiss to get an extra summon, but what we're going to do is send Dragon of Lightsworn, and then we're also going to send Raiden, or whatever Lightsworn that doesn't summon itself. Dragon is going to search for Judgment Dragon. So now we're on 3 summons here. Judgment Dragon is going to special summon itself for the 4th summon. Now for the 5th summon, we'll overlay into Galaxy Eyes Photon Lords. Now you can see, it's the 5th summon. They'll use Nibiru, and then we can just negate that effect by detaching. Now because we haven't normal summoned yet, we're going to use Bone Archfiend, normal summon, activate Bone Archfiend's effect, target itself, and now what we can do is send Weiss from the deck to the graveyard. Going to decrease the level. Weiss is going to activate, and then we're going to summon Dragon of Lightsworn onto our side of the field. Dragon's effect lets us send a Lightsworn card from the deck to the graveyard. So if we send Felis, revive itself, and now we can continue synchro summoning. So what I'd recommend, if this is more of a pure build, you can go back into Minerva. Then you can use her Banish effect to send 4 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard, and then you just keep extending from there. But this is an Archfiend deck, so what I'm going to do is synchro the Bone and the Felis off into Shooting Riser Dragon. Shooting Riser Dragon's effect is going to activate. We'll send Dark Spirit of Banishment into the graveyard, and then we will use Bone Archfiend, get rid of Dragon of Lightsworn, summon itself, and end our turn. On their turn, let's say they're just going to summon Tour Guide from the Underworld. We're going to chain that with Shooting Riser Dragon to summon Chaos Archfiend onto our side of the field. So now we have a negate plus Chaos Archfiend into the Chaos Angel Banish. Okay, so this is a test hand that I saved earlier. So what we'll do to begin with is normal summon Tour Guide from the Underworld. That'll go into Fiendish Rhino Warrior into Muckraker. Fiendish Rhino Warrior will send Weiss, use Dragon, summon itself. Dragon will then mill Felis into the graveyard, summon itself into Minerva. Dragon will search for Judgment Dragon. Minerva will send Wolf and Weiss. Weiss will summon the Felis. And now we have 2 level 4s onto our side of the field. Synchro into Crimson Dragon. That will bring Synchro Rumble. Summon Judgment. Synchro Rumble into the Weiss. Go into Legacia. Legacia will let us draw. Muckraker is going to revive the Lightsworn Archfiend. Archfiend Heiress, search for Simmel. Palabyrinth, target Weiss. Punish Muckraker. Into Bone, increase Crimson Dragon's level to bring Vision Resonator. So now we've got Fiendish Golem, Chaos Archfiend. We have Crimson Dragon going into Archfiend King Calamity for the Calamity lock. We have Chaos Archfiend, which is our win condition. That, if it dies, goes into the Chaos Angel for a banish. We have Simmel Archfiends for the D barrier lock, and then we also have Fiendish Golem for a banish as well. So this is the deck in a nutshell. We have 1 Judgment Dragon, 1 Archfiend Empress, 2 Diabolica, the Dragon Fiend Commander, 1 Archfiend Commander, 1 Berserk Archfiend, 2 Wolf, Lightsworn Beast, 3 Bone Archfiend, 1 Raiden, 3 Salamander Catalyzer, 3 Dragon of Lightsworn, 1 Felis, 3 Weiss Lightsworn Archfiend, 1 Dark Spirit of Banishment, you can also add Dark Spirit of Malice if you like, 1 Fiendish Rhino Warrior, 3 Tour Guide from the Underworld, 2 Archfiend Heiress, 1 Vision Resonator, 1 Synchro Rumble, 3 Charge of the Light Brigade, 1 Archfiend Palabyrinth, 1 Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch, Transaction Rollback, Fiendish Golem, Archfiend's Roar, and a Symbol Archfiends. Now in the extra deck, we have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, pretty decent card, Centurion Legatia, Crimson Dragon, 2 Chaos Angel, 1 Minerva Lightsworn Athena, 1 Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, Chaos Archfiend, Shooting Riser Dragon, 1 Typhon, a Photon Lord, a Wave High King Caesar, 1 Baguska or Abyss Dweller if you like, 1 SP Little Knight, and a Muckraker from the Underworld. So that's it. If you like this video, my name's Adam, and if you didn't, it's Steve, and I will see you next time.